Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Let's Get Loud podcast. This is a solo podcast episode with A. How is everyone? Oh, sorry. Okay, so guys, happy Friday. If you guys are listening to this live, I always record this as best as I can. I like to record this live. I just find that like what's on the forefront of my brain, I'm more passionate to talk about. So I love the flexibility of just putting out a podcast once a week that I literally record on the Friday. If you live in the area, you know it's been beautiful lately, which I'm super grateful for. It does seem like we're going to have a little bit of rain this weekend. I'm taking all of my kids to Oromocto, Fredericton this weekend. Alfie has some Team NB football practices. My parents live in Fredericton. I'm from Fredericton. So the girls will be spending some time with my parents while I spend some time with Alfie, but I'm really much looking forward to it, the time with the kids. And Neil's staying back because he is painting this weekend. So Neil has a little side hustle called murals and things. Him and our friend Jillian are incredible artists, and he's doing a mural at Riverview High School, actually. So he's busy, so I'm taking on mom duties. But do you know what? I don't know if you guys are like this. I struggle a lot with mom guilt. I always have. And I realize it's a me problem. Um, and I've worked on it huge and I'm way better than I used to be. But I have some things upcoming that I'm going to be away from the kids, away from the family. Actually, next weekend, I'm going to stay at a cottage. Some friends of this is what I do when, for Mother's Day we leave our families not on Mother's Day, but it's like this is our Mother's Day gift. And so I feel like it takes the pressure off of everyone. So it's like I don't need a gift. My gift to myself is going away with my friends without guilt. That's what we're aiming for here. Anyways, we rented a cottage. It's like near the PEI bridge. It's like 5 bedroom, I think, so it's enough space for all of us. We're just gonna go and drink and laugh and hang out, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So that's next weekend. But my whole point in telling you this story is when I am planning to go away, I feel like it's good when Neil's had his time away. It makes me feel like it's like a little bit more fair. I don't know. I know that's ridiculous. I also am going to a Shackley conference in June 16th to like 19th. So like 4 days I'll be away from the fam. So, and I always get a little bit of anxiety when I leave them, but I remind myself that it's good for everyone. So that's what's up with me. Now, listen, here's what we're going to talk about today. I have been talking about poop a lot on the internet. So, if you are following me on the internet, you know that there's a lot of poop conversation going on. And I am shocked. It's actually been 2 days worth on my stories of poop conversations. And it's just really brought to light to me a little bit more information. I reached out to a doctor friend of mine to get some information. I asked ChatGPT, and I feel like we need to talk about poop today. So, and what happened was I was just sharing about Piper's like journey with healing her gut a little bit. So, Piper for sure was struggling with her gut microbiome. How do I know? Well, she was having loose stool, frequent loose stool, sore belly, the smell of her stool. Like poop is supposed to smell, you guys, but not like that. I was like, something's up. She had bad breath. She had some skin issues, like some like rash around her face. And I'm like, something is up. Sick often as well. Like her immune system seemed to be really low, frequently tired. So I'm like, there is something going on with this kid's gut. Anyways, we did some things and we did some tweaks and it's improved so much. So I was just sharing that experience on the internet. And so it got me talking to people about how often they poop. I don't think you guys realize how, maybe you do realize because you are these people. I cannot believe how many people only poop once a week or less frequent than once a week. So I just got down this rabbit hole of like, is that normal? Like, is that common? Should people be worried? What could they do about it? I have some notes here. So I feel like we should unpack poop. And maybe you're listening and you're tired of talking about poop. I'm sorry. We're going to do it one more time. We need to long form conversation talk about poop. Okay? Obviously, also, not a medical doctor. Do not take any of this as medical advice. I'm just sharing my own personal experience and some experience from others that I'm pooling into this. If you feel like you have something going on with your digestive system, please go see your doctor and have a conversation. Not being able to poop could be a multitude of medical issues that need medical intervention. Okay. It's more common that it's just your gut though, but it could be something else. So go have a conversation with your doctor. Okay. So what's normal poop frequency? So I guess from 3 times a day to 3 times a week is considered normal. So like that's a very wide range, but I guess the consistency matters more than the frequency. And not the consistency of your poop, because I thought that's what they meant. But just like if your pattern is regular, that's a good sign, okay? Um, this is also a good sign. So it's not as simple as like, oh, I only poop once a week. That's not healthy. There's like more factors here. Effortless and complete evacuation is another sign of bowel habits. But like, is there ever complete evacuation? And like, how do you really know if it's all evacuated? Maybe I feel that way because I do end up evacuated and I've never felt what it feels like to not be evacuated. So it shouldn't be like super hard, super difficult to come out and you feel like you don't have it all out. Um, and basically, if you're noticing like a significant change in your bowels, that could be like a clue for something. Also, let's just like pause this conversation. My husband, and when I share this, it does seem like other people have the same experience with their husbands. He's like, oh, like it's like emergency. Like we're all cleaning the house. We're all doing this. He's got to go poop. And I'm like, cool, cool. But if it's an emergency poop, it doesn't take 30 minutes. Like emergency poops don't take 30 minutes. Can we all agree on that? Like sometimes a nice leisurely poop, don't get me wrong. Love a nice leisurely poop. Nothing better than a no rush poop. Okay? But you can't have a no rush poop and an emergency poop at the same time. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Do we all agree? So the other day we had something to do, and I was like, Neil was like, I just gotta go to the bathroom. And it's like before we're about to watch Survivor or something. I was like, okay, cool, cool, cool. If you just need to go, like you need to go so bad, you have 3 minutes. I had actually seen that somewhere. There was like a rule of three. It's like it shouldn't take more than 3 minutes. You shouldn't go more than 3 times a day, less than 3 times a week. And I feel like there was another three involved. Anyways, so I timed him. He managed in 3 minutes. I was like, see, we want to see more of those over here. So, your stool should be formed but soft. Think like a sausage or a snake. Smooth and soft. Okay. There's actually a poop chart. It's called the Bristol stool chart. So you can have a look and see like where your poop rates. Sometimes, guys, I'm so proud of my poop. I want to take a photo. I don't though. But do you know why I'm proud? Because I look at that and I'm like, that is a reflection of my overall health and well being. And I am just so proud to call myself a smooth sausage pooper. Okay, so when to be concerned? Going less than 3 times per week consistently, having hard, dry stool, experiencing pain, bloating, or straining, sudden changes in patterns. So here's the thing, too. Fixing this will not be easy. And I just want to like preface that before I continue the conversation because there's all sorts of things in my world that I would like to change, but it's not about, wait, I'm going to reword. There's all sorts of things in my environment that I would like a different result. Okay. But I'm also honest with myself as my capacity and the energy I'm willing to give to that thing right now. And so it's really important that as you guys are listening to this, and you're not just thinking about poop, you're thinking about any change in your life. It's like you need to not just want the result, you need to be like ready to put in the work. Now, especially something like this, digestive stuff is very difficult to unpack, figure out, make changes. And so you really need to be like, nope, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to implement changes consistently. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to continue to implement. Okay. I mean, that's really how I felt about my weight loss journey after I turned 40. Like that, like losing or gaining that 10 pounds and then losing that 10 pounds, like losing the 10 pounds I gained when I hit 40 was no joke. And it required me to not just want the result of losing the 10 pounds, it required me to be like, no, I'm ready. I'm willing. I'm going to do what it takes. I'm going to figure this out. And I was having a conversation with a friend the other day where she's going through the exact same thing. And she was like feeling frustrated. I'm like, I can so connect. And she's like, well, I have to do something. I'm like, actually, you don't. Like, it's really important that you know that you actually don't have to do something. You don't have to. So do you want to? Is a bigger question. And the whole like the digestive thing adds a layer to it because something that works for you is not going to work for someone else. And I really think for most people, it's quite a lengthy path and journey to figure it out. For the most part, it's not just like flick a switch and then all of a sudden you're pooping and you're pooping regular. Okay. All right. So, tips to support regularly healthy poops. Another little like I want to get in here. So, I reached out to my friend who's a family doctor and I said, can we talk about poop? And I said, people that are doing the lifestyle things, how often did they come to you and struggle with poop? And he said, the people that are doing the everything right, nutrition, movement, water, I don't see them. He's like, I don't see them for the most part, for the majority. And so just having that conversation with him reinforced to me the power of lifestyle. I am not judging anyone how they choose to live their lives, to like fix things, to cure things. Guys, I feel the same way when I was getting advice about my periods. You know, people were just like, literally, someone told me to get a hysterectomy. I was like, whoa, whoa. Or get an IUD or blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I just feel like as a society, we could take a step back and ask ourselves first and foremost, what lifestyle changes can I implement first for my overall wellness? And then we look to the other things, you know? And you know what? People get upset. People get triggered when I share that. And I think if people are triggered, it's about them and not me. And I'm a reflection of what they're choosing not to do in their life. And that's fine. I'm not saying that I'm better. I'm not saying you should do anything, but I just think we need to be speaking a little bit more loud and proud about lifestyle. Obviously, I always felt this way. And it's always been what we taught at Airway Weight Loss when it comes to weight loss. But it's the wellness piece that I'm now more integrated in. And just having had that experience in my own life of, oh my God, my friend's getting a kitten and she just sent me a photo, you guys. I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm dying. We're going to look together. I can't even handle it. I'm so jealous. If you were watching on YouTube, do I need another cat? I think Milo would eat it or attack it. I don't know. Okay, we're going back. We're going back. We're going back. Yeah. So I just think we need to potentially be a little bit more loud and proud about lifestyle changes. You know, I see lots of loud and proud about GLP-1s, and I am not judging. I really, truly am not judging. When I see people choosing to live their life differently than me, I am not judging. Zero judgment. My like point is that I feel like as a society, we've weighed too much on the side of medicine, like instant medicine, instant dealing with and often the medicine isn't even fixing the problem. It's just looking at the side effect of the problem. And we want to look at what's the problem. So I was talking about X-Lax with someone and they said, yeah, I'm using X-Lax, but my body's going to adjust to it. And again, X-Lax is not fixing your overall digestive health. X-Lax is dealing with the problem of not pooping, which is a side effect. So we really need to get to like this part. Okay, I think you guys get it. Okay, so how can you support your regularity? Fiber. So I eat a very nutrient dense meals. I rarely consume anything that was not made in my own home. And when I introduced more fiber, I realized that not that I wasn't having enough fiber, but just the power of introducing more fiber. It's also really common if you're on a weight loss journey. Often people cut back on carbs, maybe they go higher protein. So you could be having a significant less amount of fiber than you realize. So recently I added more fiber into my diet. I found these like wraps. At Costco, and there's 17 grams of fiber in one wrap. So that's like half your daily allowance of fiber. Plus, I've been eating about like a cup of raspberries a day, either in my smoothie or with my meals. And I am empty. And I can celebrate with you the feeling of emptiness. Like, wow, that feels great. Okay. So I feel like my it was good before, but adding fiber made it great. That's just a public service announcement if you're someone that wants to add fiber. I do have a supplement that I take. I don't take it every single day because I don't feel like I need it every single day. But if I'm going to be on the road and I know I'm eating differently and I don't have as much fiber when I'm traveling, if I'm just feeling a little like icky, I'll take that and it really helps to like keep things going. And that's what I gave Piper as well. And the supplement that I take actually has prebiotic and probiotic in it. So it's like a full gut experience. So increasing your fiber, hydration, drink water, water literally keeps things moving. Hydrate, exercise. Exercise stimulates your intestinal activity. So get moving, get up, walk around, okay? Your routine, so going around the same time daily can actually help and not ignoring your urges. So if you're someone that's gotten into the habit of holding your poops, you can actually train your body to poop less frequently. I don't know if you guys have ever had the experience of like having a kid that you were potty training and they just like didn't want to go poop. You can literally train your body to go less frequently, which isn't necessarily a good thing, right? Um, and so then now let's talk about the connection between poop and gut health. Okay. So, and why your gut health is so important. So, how often you poop is a clue to your gut transit time. This is so cool. The time it takes for food to move through your digestive tract. So, if it's too slow, infrequent pooping, you may suggest constipation, sluggish motility, or a microbiome imbalance. If it's too fast, I know some people in my life that are very frequent loose poopers. Okay. It might point to inflammation, stress, infection, or an overactive gut. Okay. So it could be one of those things. Microbiome balance. So your gut microbiome influences like how fast and the how fast the stool goes through and your actual stool formation. So basically what I'm saying to you is digestive if you're struggling with poop, potentially the cause is an imbalance in your gut microbiome, okay? So, signs that poop frequency may reflect poor gut health. So, how do you know that there's something going on? So, chronic constipation or diarrhea, foul smelling stool, gas, bloating, abdominal pain, and even undigested food in your stool. So if you see food and you're like, and not just corn, corn's fine. Other things you're like, interesting. Now, when I really started to dig deep into what was going on with, Piper's gut, I realized that there's actually so much happening in your gut. And I'm not going to lie, when I hear people talking about like your gut microbiome, I'm like, eye roll, like, oh, it's like, oh, another thing we need to worry about. Well, listen, you don't need to worry about anything, but I think it's important that you realize that healing your gut could have a massive impact on like your overall health. There's a massive connection between anxiety, depression, brain fog, mood swings, exhaustion, and your gut health. Also, your immune system. So 70 to 80% of your immune system actually lives in your gut. So, a healthy gut can train your immune system to respond properly, not overreact or underreact when there's something in your system that needs to be like dealt with. Okay. Obviously, digestion, inflammation, all skin. If you have issues like acne, eczema, and rosacea, it can be influenced by your gut imbalance. So just an FYI, I just wanted to like put that in there one more time that like it's more just than just like a healthy gut. It's more than just your poop. It could be your mood, your anxiety, your energy, your immune system, your inflammation, your skin. Okay. All of these things could, if you're having issues with any or all of those things, it could be in your gut, which is crazy. Okay, so how do you improve your gut? We already talked about eating high fiber foods, so like fruits, veggies, legumes, Oh, the other day I pulled up the highest fiber foods. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Raspberries are huge. Raspberries are ones that I just really like raspberries too. So those are ones. So chia seeds, 10 grams per 2 tablespoons. Flax seeds. So that's something if you have a yogurt bowl, you could add. You could add that to a smoothie. Lentils, 15 grams per cup. Woo! Black beans, split peas, all my vegan friends, they must be just so high in fiber. Avocados, 10 grams per cup. Raspberries, 8 grams per cup. Pear with the skin, 6 grams. So here's some things that are higher in fiber. I think fiber is one of those things where you're probably consuming less than you realize. And again, you can choose not to care. You can choose not to care. Okay. Another way to work on your gut microbiome is fermented foods. So things like yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha as well can help with people's gut health. Staying hydrated, limiting processed foods and added sugars, managing your stress, getting enough sleep, exercising regularly. So, all the things that I was talking about earlier were about managing your stool, right? Having healthy poops. Now I'm talking about gut microbiome, how to have a healthy gut microbiome, but many things overlap, right? So, what are your clues if your gut microbiome is off? You're bloating or have gas, constipation or diarrhea, stomach pains and cramps, heartburn, acid reflux can be a real sign. Um, and the irregular poop schedule, fatigue, low energy, brain fog, mood issues, skin problems, sick all the time, bad breath. That's a really good one. So this is just a little bit more information. Okay. At the end of the day, looking at your life and being like, I want to make this change. I want to work on my gut health. I want to work on my digestive health. Amazing. But you know what, guys? This is not weight loss. You're not going to lose weight by increasing your gut health. Okay? You're not. But you could feel so much better. And then you have more energy. And then you move your body more. And then you're eating more nutrient dense because you're working on your gut health. And then you're over consuming less frequently because you're not exposing yourself as often to those processed foods. And then potentially as a byproduct, absolutely you could get weight loss. But I think the biggest piece to take away from what you're going to get from this is really overall wellness. So some people also like to, so not only working on the foods that I talked about, but also prebiotic, probiotic. So a probiotic is the actual bacteria, good bacteria for your gut. Okay. It supports your gut microbiome. So that's what a probiotic is. The prebiotic is actually like the food for the probiotic. So if you take a probiotic, you're giving your gut good bacteria, but maybe it also needs a prebiotic. So you're giving that bacteria all the food it needs to like thrive. Okay. Listen, I just don't want you guys suffering. And I had a lot of conversations with people that said that they only poop once a week or, less frequent than that even, and that they feel bloated and that they're frustrated. And I would love to encourage you guys to have an honest conversation with yourselves if you fall under that, category, and just say, okay, is this something that I want, not just the results, that I'm willing and ready to put in the work? And where can I start? Where am I at right now? What lifestyle changes am I currently willing to make? Okay. And doesn't have to be a race. We don't have to do this tomorrow. Let's gradually start to make some changes. Check in with yourself. Are you seeing any improvements? And if not, go have a conversation with your doctor. Okay, everyone. I would like to tell you that I'm done talking about poop, but I just can't make that promise to you. Like, I just can't make that promise to you. I don't know if I'm going to need to talk about it more because it's a real thing. But thank you for letting me be vulnerable and honest and open and leaving space for conversations like this on the podcast. I hope you guys have an amazing day, an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next week.